Hello guys and welcome in to another ESO log tutorial. Today we're going to be talking about the Roar of Alkosh set. This is a popular set found in organized trial groups for years. Many people know of it and many people wear it, but honestly few use it efficiently. Today we're going to cover first how to read ESO logs for the Alkosh debuff, and then go over some tips to help you improve your Alkosh uptimes so that you can better support your teammates and improve overall damage by the team. The first thing you're going to need to do is to find a log of your choice. Once you've selected a log, you're then going to want to open it up and find the boss fight or fights that you're interested in. You're going to look at these one fight at a time. So for this one, let's check out this specific boss fight. You're then going to navigate over to the debuff section. Once in the debuff section, you need to navigate over to this drop down where you need to toggle it from gained by friendly to cast by friendly, meaning these were debuffs cast by you and your allies. So this now shows you every debuff that was cast by you and your allies, and of course if you scroll down you'll find Roar of Alkosh. But if you want more detailed information than just this specific uptime, I recommend scrolling all the way back up and going to all abilities. You're going to find Roar of Alkosh in the drop down. And here you can get a better idea of the actual time breakdown for the uptimes. And this gives you a percentage amount for Roar of Alkosh in this specific fight by this specific player. Now, it was 46% in this particular instance. If we want to instead look at another instance, so if we want to look at this first one and again navigate through the same debuffs, cast by friendly, navigate to Roar of Alkosh, look at our uptimes. We can then also, if you just want to look at your other reps from the same log, you can just hit that drop down, toggle to this one. It'll keep your settings that you've already selected so long as you're within that same log. So on this one, as you saw, we had a 38% and we had a 39%. Another important detail when looking at Alkosh uptimes, this is for all enemies. This is just for the presence of Roar of Alkosh at all. I do recommend changing this to be specifically targeting the main boss for that fight. So while we did have a few smaller enemies like the Sentinel, a Runarx or two, I would recommend setting it so that's instead of all targets, it's only for the Shattered Shard. And this is, as you saw, it didn't change the uptime very much. So that means our Alkosh wearer was at least proccing it on the right enemy. If we look at the other one, again, now we saw a higher drop down in the amount of Alkosh uptime. It was high 30s, now it's down to 23. The Roar of Alkosh set has 0 cooldown. So technically, players could get a 100% uptime on Roar of Alkosh. But this is potentially unlikely unless players are mindful of the set not dying, because an Alkosh wearer that is dead cannot proc a synergy, and they're mindful of the synergies themselves. So let's talk about a couple tips that can help improve your Alkosh uptimes. One of my first ways that you can help improve your Alkosh uptimes. As the person wearing Alkosh, it's important that you're always on the main boss or target for that fight. Alkosh is directional, meaning the debuff will only be provided to enemies in front of you. It does have a bit of a range, so you can step back a couple of steps as needed, but don't try to activate Alkosh on the boss when you are very far away. Wait until you're closer to the target enemy. And of course, target enemy usually is the big bad in the room, but if your raid lead is calling for something else to be targeted by the whole team, such as in Dreadsail Reef, if the raid lead wants Atronox targeted in the first boss fight, that would be an instance where the Alkosh wouldn't be being applied to the main big bad, but instead move to those Atronox to help get them debuffed, to then help them burn down faster. So of course, listen to your raid lead as to what you should be focusing, but if it is a small target, such as the orbs or grapes in Cloud Rest, the Alkosh will not be focusing those, and instead would stay on Zamaja. The second tip for improving your Alkosh uptimes is to be timely with your synergies. Like I said earlier, there is 0 cooldown on activation of the damage and debuff for more of Alkosh, but the effect of physical and spell resistance reduction from Alkosh only lasts for 10 seconds. Therefore, you need to activate Roar of Alkosh every 10 seconds to have the maximum uptime of 100%. This is made more difficult by the fact that in the Elder Scrolls Online, you can only use each unique synergy once every 20 seconds. It doesn't matter, for example, if the Warden Healer is reapplying their skill, Budding Seeds, every 8 seconds, the Harvest synergy from this skill will only be available to you every 20 seconds after the last time you took it. Therefore, you need to check if Alkosh needs to be activated prior to taking synergies. If there's only 2 seconds left, reapply. If you have 8 seconds of Alkosh left, don't take the synergy. Wait for the timer to get lower. And how do you know how long Alkosh has left? There's a couple of ways to do this. The in-game vanilla way to track this debuff is by navigating to Settings, Combat, Buffs and Debuffs, Always Show, and Target Debuffs On. When Alkosh is activated on an enemy, you will see this icon and countdown for the debuff. For those on PC, there are many add-ons you can use for tracking Alkosh, and I'm going to recommend EXOY's Proc Set Timer by EXOY94. This add-on is great for almost every proc set. I especially love the flexibility of this add-on to adjust icon size, font, color, position, and more details. I just use the default size and colors, but I love that I can easily grab the icon and move it to the best position for me on my screen. In my opinion, this is a clearer way to see how much longer you have on your Alkosh debuff, and helps you to decide if you should eat that synergy or not. And one last tip for working on your improvement of your Alkosh uptimes. At the end of the day, Alkosh is limited by a couple factors. One being the positioning of your boss. If your tank is running all over the place, then that is going to reduce your uptimes. If you are constantly dying, that's also going to reduce your uptimes. Whether that be of your own fault, loose boss, or lack of healing, or any other factors, that's going to affect your uptimes. And additionally, the presence or absence of synergies is going to also affect your uptimes. So while improving your Alkosh uptimes is always going to be something that you can work on and can improve, you are at the mercy of your group a lot of the time. But as long as you're doing the best you can with the synergies you're given to be efficient with them and proc Alkosh as much as you can to get closer to that 100%, that is certainly a goal to work towards. And if you're in a consistent group and you're noticing such things as a harvest synergy is never present for you, or there's just a severe lack of synergies in general, you can communicate that with your group and see what your teammates' uptimes are on synergy providing skills to potentially help you get more synergies. This would be especially effective to communicate with healers that typically provide at least 1 or 2 synergies per healer, and if not additional things from your tank also. But of course, if you're in more of a pickup group situation or a meeting up one time kind of group, that kind of information is harder to ascertain, and in that case you just do the best you can. But with that, I hope that this video helps to make learning Alkosh a little less intimidating, with giving you a few tips to how to improve, and then also understanding that there's only so much you can control, so just do the best you can. And at the end of the day, all the rest of your group should be thanking you for being a support damage dealer to help everyone else and the overall group do more damage. And thank you to everybody out there who is willing to be our Alkosh wearers. If you guys have another topic that you would like broken down, potentially tips given to, or something you would like a deep dive to in ESO logs, make sure to comment down below. This was a suggestion I just received by somebody getting into a quote Zenkosh setup, so keep an eye out for a future video about Zen's redress. But I felt it was helpful enough to break this into 2 separate videos for the purpose of better covering this specific topic and giving it the utmost detail. Well, if there's any other sets that you would like broken down, make sure to comment down below and let me know. If nothing else, thank you all so much for joining me today, and I hope to see you all around again soon. If you liked the video, make sure to like and consider subscribing so that you stay up to date for when the next videos go live. And if you want to hang out with us some more, we're over on Twitch multiple days a week. Then go find us over there at SavySnapdragon. If nothing else, thank you all so much for joining me today, and I hope to see you all again soon. Bye!